Grab some popcorn and maybe a pillow or two for one of the wildest games to ever take place in the Dome. Syracuse men's basketball and Indiana battled for the first time in 8 years, and let's just say it was well worth the wait. Want to know how this movie ended? That's coming up.
And Syracuse women's hoops has scored over 200 points in the last 80 minutes of basketball. They were able to pull off a huge upset against Ohio State and then put up some historical numbers on Sunday against Central Connecticut. We'll check out the highlights and how the Orange protected the Dome.
Plus, we skate on over to Tennedy Ice Pavilion where SU hockey welcomed Mercyhurst into town. The last 5 meetings have steered the way of the Lakers, but a new month means new results, or at least the Orange hopes so. 2 games on tap to change SU's fortune, and we got one show that covers it all. It's On the Bench. Let's get it rolling. We welcome you inside our CitrusTV studios for On the Bench. I'm Cameron Ezeir, he's Nick Zelaya, and boy am I glad we're inside, nice and cozy. Nick, it's a frozen tundra out there.
It is, and I made the mistake of wearing shorts a few days ago. I checked the weather, it looked good, walked outside, we didn't feel too good afterwards.
How could you make that mistake?
I don't know, I like shorts. I'm not a pants guy, I guess, yeah.
So I'm not a pants guy either, but I made the decision to wear pants, and I think I made the right one. We kick off this show honoring a Syracuse men's basketball player that paved the way for many to follow. Manny Breeland, the first black athlete to receive a scholarship from the university, died on Saturday morning after a battle with pancreatic cancer. Breeland sported orange from 1952 to 1957, and in his senior year played an integral role in helping earn the Cuse's first NCAA tournament bid in program history. Breeland was inducted in the Syracuse Sports Hall of Fame in 1992, and his legacy continues on in Central New York.
And the Syracuse football season may be over, but the news surrounding the team is far from it. Syracuse Athletics announced earlier today that the Orange are welcoming Notre Dame to the Carrier Dome next season on October 29th. It'll be the first time since 2003 that the Fighting Irish have visited the Dome, and just the 11th meeting between the two schools, with ND leading the series 7-3.
Now, why stop the love for fall sports that have come to an end? Earlier today, 13-year field hockey head coach Ange Bradley and her staff were named the Midwest Region Coaching Staff of the Year by the National Field Hockey Coaches Association. Bradley, joined by first-year assistant coaches Tim Bronick and Mike Pallister, as well as volunteer assistant coach Mike Young, helped the Orange reach their first Elite Eight since 2016. But we have 10 months until even giving that crew a second thought, mainly because Syracuse men's basketball was at the top of everyone's minds last Tuesday. It wasn't only the Big Ten ACC Challenge, but a renewal of the 1987 National Championship that went the Hoosiers' way. Good news for the Orange, the Cuse have won the last 5 dates with IU. So what's in store between two teams that haven't met in nearly a decade? It's undefeated Indiana and 3-3 Syracuse. 7 minutes in, SU the early lead. Trace Jackson-Davis, the early fireworks, posterizes Cole Swider. Edwards responds on the other end, so defense is going to be an issue. Offense, far from it. JG3 leading the charge, knocks down the triple. He was in double figures at the half, and he wasn't full from Thanksgiving. Step back, he wants another 3. Give it to him. Syracuse up 16 at the half, led by as many as 18. But here come the Hoosiers. Clean up on aisle 2 for Trace Jackson-Davis. And how about luck of the draw for Race Thompson? 27-9 run to tie it up. Indiana now with the lead. Jimmy Boeheim responds, and this is when you knew this was going to be an all-time classic, and JG3 wanted to stamp his mark all over it, knocks it down, falls over. Who cares? He got it to go. And Boeheim, well, the Boeheim struggle, but Buddy Boeheim is pure from distance. Put Syracuse up 7 with 4 minutes left to go. And then Jimmy got in on the action. Game's over, right? 9-point game, 4 minutes to go. Well, Jackson-Davis thinks otherwise. Now under 10 seconds to go. Parker Stewart, Indiana shot 74% in the second half, and this is where Syracuse could have sealed the deal. Get the rebound and the game is over, but Jackson-Davis, the sophomore, grabs it, and he has 2 free throws to tie it. Jesse Edwards, SU's true center, fouled out 30 seconds prior, and Jackson-Davis got the best of freshman Benny Williams to grab the rebound, hit the 2 clutch free throws. We're headed to overtime. And in the OT period, Syracuse, well, especially JG3, didn't skip a beat. 5 long balls for the junior, but we've seen this movie before. Indiana ties it up with 30 seconds, so JG3, 17 seconds to go. Cuse a chance to take the lead, misses short. You got to fill that popcorn bucket. You have to, because Jackson Davis is up there in double overtime to slam it home. What can he do? 31 for the sophomore, double OT, double highlight machine for number 23, Trace Jackson Davis. So how does Syracuse respond? 8 unanswered points, comfortable lead until that. It would soon be a tie game until Joe Gerard raced to the cup and he was fouled with under a second to go. And points number 21 and 22 sealed the deal for the Cuse. And JG3 finished with 22 points on the day, Buddy Boeheim with 27. And how about it? That caps off 50 minutes of what could be considered the biggest game of the year.
So loss number 1 for Indiana thanks to Syracuse. They traveled down to Tallahassee to face a Florida State team who was coming off a 22-point loss to Purdue the other night. And early on for the Orange, man, it was ugly. Jesse Edwards misses the shot. Cole Swider misses the 3-pointer. Then later on, Jimmy Boeheim, he tries one from the wing. Nope, off the mark. On all ends, it was nothing for Syracuse. 8 for 35 from the field in the first half. But Joe Gerard, he would keep Syracuse in this thing. 5 for 11 from deep, that 1-3 from the top of the key. He was also hitting one from the logo. Joe Gerard showing off that range, but the bad throw by Buddy Boeheim ends up in the hands of Anthony Polite, who finishes the and-one layup. And then it was a 32-24 lead for Florida State going into the half. It was looking good for the Seminoles early on in the second. Osborne with the corner 3, but here comes Syracuse. Joe Gerard once again the made 3-pointer. He's saying, come on, let's get going, boys. Gerard finds Jesse Edwards, too much height. Gets the layup to fall. Buddy drives to the hoop. Only 6 points for the senior, but still some clutch baskets late in this one. Then Buddy finding his center, just throwing it up. The 7-footer will find it. Jesse Edwards, 11 points, 12 rebounds for the junior. The monster slam there, and Syracuse starting to pull away with this one. But here come the Seminoles. Caleb Mills, he had a huge first half, and that was a big corner 3 for the junior. Then Cole Swider, what a game for him. 16 points, leading all SU scorers. But what a pass from Polite, finding Matthew Cleveland, who throws it down. Then Mills trying to hesitate, makes a nice move off the glass. Florida State coming into close to this one, 16-8 run in the last 5 minutes, really only trailing by 1 point to the Orange. And eventually, Syracuse, they would try to pull it away. That ball goes out of bounds. Complete sloppiness on the court right now. And one last chance for Florida State, down 3. Caleb Mills gets a really good look, misses. Malik Osborne, one last chance from the corner, no good. Syracuse picks up another victory to improve to 5-3. Calvin was down in Florida and had all the action.
At times tonight, Florida State men's basketball had opportunities to score from here, and from there, and from there. The only problem was they didn't put many into there, as FSU shoots 4 for 30 from beyond the arc, and Syracuse comes down to Tallahassee and knocks off the Seminoles 63-60. The win snaps FSU's 25-game home ACC winning streak, and for the players, FSU just didn't miss open shots. They were forced to take contested ones.
They shot a poor percentage today, but that's not by accident. It's because we're getting out on shooters. We're making them take really tough shots.
I think they did have some open shots, but at the same time, a lot of the reason they were missing is we closed out pretty well. And that's what we need to do each and every game. We got back on the boards. Usually Florida State beats us on the boards, and this time we beat them.
Just, our offense struggling in general, and us being able to rely on our defense is the biggest takeaway here.
So the 60 points allowed, it ties the fewest SU has given up in a game all season, and it's the least against Florida State since 2015. That defensive effort saved the Cuse tonight in a game where they didn't even shoot it 35% from the floor themselves. The Orange look for that defensive beat to roll on Tuesday, but that's not going to be easy. SU travels to Madison Square Garden to take on number 6 Villanova at 9:30. From Tallahassee, Florida, Calvin Cristoforo, Citrus TV.
Calvin, thanks so much. What a second half it was for the Orange, and what a game for Joe Gerard. Offensively, defensively, but on the offensive side, another 16-point effort, plus 4 more trifectas as the juniors' efficiency, stats, and confidence have clearly risen.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge tipped off in the Dome again on Wednesday, this time for the women's team, who at 3-4 faced a challenge against a top 20 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes squad that is hot to start this season, 5-0. So could the Orange pick up their biggest win of the season heading to the Dome now? Ohio State has been on fire. They've outscored opponents by 36 points so far, but SU, they were first to get on the board. Tisha Hyman stepping back and knocking down the triple. There was much more of Tisha Hyman in this one. Later on, Ohio State able to get the steal. It's J.C. Sheldon picking off the pass. 15 straight points after that Hyman three-pointer gave the Buckeyes an early lead. 19-12 now, still late in the first quarter. Tisha Hyman somehow getting the basket and one. Yeah, applaud yourself, Tisha. What a shot, getting some English off of the glass. 25-19 now, second quarter. Hyman finds her teammate. That's Elena Rice, who gets it back to Tisha from the corner. Absolutely. And she points at the Ohio State bench, says, "This is my game to turn up." Then Hyman goes baseline through the legs. Layup. What a show Tisha Hyman is putting on. But Syracuse, they still trail 39-36 going into halftime. Second half now, Hyman, 6 assists on the day. There's one right there to Najee Murray for the three-pointer. SU outscored Ohio State 29-19 in a huge third quarter. But the Buckeyes, they applied some pressure in the fourth quarter and came back in this one. J.C. Sheldon drilling the three from the top of the key. 89-82 Syracuse now. Hyman able to break the press. We're moving, ladies. Alicia Stiles, wide open layup, makes it a 9-point lead. One last chance for Ohio State. Hey, why not? Drill the three-pointer off the glass, Ricky Harris, but Syracuse picks up the 97-91 victory.
And Nick, no rest for the weary. Syracuse back at it in the Dome on Sunday for a matinee matchup with Central Connecticut State. And Nick, if there's one thing that you should know about this Blue Devils team, well, it runs through Ashley Berube. She's the heartbeat, the only player to average double digits in points, kind of keeping Central Connecticut State in it 2.5 minutes in, but Syracuse still in the lead. You want to know the heartbeat for Syracuse? It's Chrissy Carr as she knocks it in from deep. And just a couple seconds later, Berube again pulled out the map to go each and every way to find it off the backboard. 12 first half points for Berube, but this arsenal for Syracuse is way too deep. Kristlyn Carr nails it from distance, her 4th straight 20-point game. And why not give it off to the other Carr as she drove toward that elbow and knocked it in off the glass? Everyone wants to get involved. It's a 15-point game. Make it 18, courtesy of Najee Murray, and her day was not done at all. Murray with this floater off the steal joined the 1,000-point club. The Texas Tech transfer, a big honor for her, and the numbers just kept piling on. One of 17 steals for the Cuse and one of too many baskets to count as Syracuse goes up 36. That margin wouldn't change, but more records shattered. Kristlyn Carr pure from deep, and that makes it 65 first half points, most in program history. One player you haven't talked about, Tisha Hyman, 5th triple-double in program history. SU takes the win, and Steven Sklar has more.
This Sunday, SU continued its dominance over non-Power 5 competitors with maybe its most complete offensive performance all year. By halftime versus Central Connecticut State, SU had already scored 65 points, a program record. The Orange finished off the game with 116 points, also a program record. Acting head coach Von Reed explains what made this offense so successful.
It's kind of like pick your poison. You know, we were driving the ball and driving and kicking, playing, and the girls were just sharing the ball. It was tremendous.
Now, the performance of the night unquestionably goes to Tisha Hyman. She dropped a career-high 30 points against Ohio State last Wednesday and backed it up with the first ever points, assists, and steals triple-double in SU women's basketball program history.
Game after game, I feel like I'm improving, calming down, being more, back to my old self. I think it's just a joy to play.
The Orange hope to bring the same drive and focus into their next matchup this Wednesday versus Cornell. That game will take place at 7 p.m. on the court right behind me. I'm Steven Sklar from the Carrier Dome, Citrus TV.
Well, Cam, I'm seeing a theme with teams from New Britain, Connecticut, not winning too many games. But Tisha Hyman, a great performance against Ohio State, 30 points, 6 assists, and then this, 27 points, 15 assists, 11 steals, 8 rebounds, 2 rebounds shy of a quadruple double. And Steven mentioned it, the first woman ever in the Syracuse program with a triple double in points, assists, and steals. Tisha Hyman's been on all levels, especially after missing all of last season with a knee injury. But when we come back on the bench, it's time to skate. Syracuse women's hockey played the Lakers, the Mercyhurst Lakers, in a weekend showdown at Kennedy. The Orange struggled on Friday, but bounced back the next night. Stay locked in.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back into On the Bench. He's Nick Zelaya. I'm Cameron Ezeir, wishing everyone a happy start to the holiday season. Nick, that includes you. I don't know about you, but I know at the top of my list is sitting down with some nice hot cocoa and marshmallows.
Absolutely. I mean, I had a cup last night with some peppermint marshmallows. I decided to take it another level with the peppermint. You know me. You know me.
See,
I like the mint.
I'm more of a pumpkin spice guy. Would you dabble in that? No? No? More of a peppermint? Oh.
More peppermint,
Well,
yeah.
you know, that's the top of your list. It's the top of my list, the top of Syracuse hockey's wish list. Well, it's pretty simple. It reads along the lines of grabbing a win over Mercyhurst for the first time in the last 5 meetings. We head out to Kennedy, where the Orange and Lakers took to the ice for their first 2 head-to-head matchups this season. It's beautiful Kennedy Ice Pavilion, and Syracuse looking to improve on the season, sitting at 5-7-3. And in the first 5 minutes, it didn't spell good news for the Orange as Pigeon flies across the blue line, sends it in. St. Croix pokes it home. It's not like Syracuse didn't have its chances. Off the rebound, Shelby Kaloff had an opportunity off the pad of the goalie, and just like she couldn't capitalize, well, on the other end, Mercyhurst had a chance and couldn't capitalize either. But when it's all said and done, this Mercyhurst team was just too good, and even on a shorthand opportunity, 3-1, found the stick of Vasco as she put it back into the back of the net, made it 2-0, and at the end of the day, just kept peppering Ariel DeSmet, where this Lakers team finally added another one. Pigeon got her goal as Mercyhurst takes it over Syracuse 3-0 for their 6th win over the Orange in a row.
And 24 hours later, Syracuse, they tried to even the weekend match with Mercyhurst, looking for a big victory after struggling over the last few games. Mercyhurst, they got out shooting quickly, a couple chances, unable to convert. DeSmet with the save, but Mercyhurst, they finally convert. Lillian Perrault with the KK Thiesen assist makes it 1-0, looking like a lot of the same from last night. Syracuse not able to find the back of the net, really struggling, but they finally do early in the second period. Lauren Belafontaine unassisted to make it a 1-1 game. The one-timer creeping by Nystrom, and then later in the period, Victoria Klimek, she finds the back of the net to make it 2-1 Syracuse. They take their first lead of the weekend against Mercyhurst, and late in the third period, we need the Trey Redfield call here. The clincher from Victoria Klimek back of the net to make it 3-1 Syracuse. They pick up the victory, and now Cam Ezeir has joined by a very special guest at the wall.
That's right, Nick. I'm joined by our ice hockey beat reporter, Chile Adele. Now, Chile, this is a team that is facing Princeton next, and it's a team that hasn't done well in the non-conference slate. What does this team have to do to switch its fortunes around?
You're right, Cam. This team is terrible, has been terrible against non-conference opponents in the past few years. This year, they're 1-5-3 so far, and their only win is against 3-15-1 Union College. Now, going back over the years, last year they were 4-3. Granted, that was a shortened COVID season, but the last 2 years before that really show what this team has done against non-conference opponents, and it hasn't been good. 3-13 in 2019-20 and 3-14-1 the year before that. Now, what has happened? You've had some great goaltending from goaltender Ariel DeSmet, but what has been a very defensive team. This isn't a team that's getting pucks on net. This isn't a team that's playing up. They're playing very laid back on allowing the other teams to take control on offense, and that's what's led to their demise.
Now, another glaring issue has to be the offense. It has to be addressed this far into the season. How did Paul Flanagan and company find their stride on the offensive side?
Well, last week we talked with associate head coach Brendan Knight, and what he said is that they have to play ugly. They've got to play scrappy. It's not going to be finesse. It's not going to be moving right here and there. They have to play scrappy. The goals are going to look ugly, and this is what they did on Saturday well. You saw Victoria Clement have that presence in the net there. All the traffic that was going through towards the net, the Orange were able to win on Saturday because they did that, and that's what they're going to have to do against Princeton this week.
Chile, thank you so much. Make sure you follow @CAdeleTV on Twitter for live updates throughout the rest of the season. It's time for a break here on the bench, but a mile left to go. Track and field on the other side, plus our women's soccer beat reporter Jesse Cook breaks down the elusive career of one of SU's best. Back here on the bench, Cameron Ezeir with Nick Zelaya taking you through all you need to know from the past week on the Hill. A hill that's been kind to the Orange as of late, but not to my knees. Nick, I swear, walking has become a chore. I swear I'm not getting older. Maybe it's the wind?
Kim, you're walking all over the place. That's why. I swear, I'll be driving to Chick-fil-A. I'll make my way back. I see you walking back to the house. I guess I should probably pick you up, but...
I was going to say, that's the biggest issue then.
I enjoy listening to my podcast.
I need some Chick-fil-A.
Anyways, track season got underway at the Greg Page Relays on Saturday, with Syracuse winning 4 events, including the 60-meter hurdles, which was all orange. Isaiah Lewis finished first in 8.01 seconds. Couldn't have taken one quicker step, Cam. And similar results for the women, with Shayla Collier grabbing the #1 spot for the 60-meter hurdles in just under 8.5 seconds. The men's 60-yard dash and the women's 3,000-meter run also saw someone in an orange uniform cross the finish line first. They'll be back in action in early January.
Okay, Nick, I get it. Maybe I should be a little faster. But it was quite a season for Syracuse women's soccer, which ended in the last week of October. Although the results weren't on the positive end, the seniors did leave a positive mark on the program, and our own Jesse Cook has more.
I don't think the emotion really hit me. I don't think I've processed everything yet. It definitely was emotional right after the game. As soon as I hugged Nikki, our head coach, I got some tears.
A 2-1 loss to Virginia Tech signaled the end of a 4-year collegiate career for Syracuse keeper Lizzie-Ann Prue. She played her final season leading a pair of underclassmen eager to follow in her footsteps in net in junior Michaela Walsh and freshman Sierra Giorgio.
I don't know if I see myself as a role model. I've never really kind of saw myself as a role model like that. I'm just happy to help them in any way that I can, so that now it's their turn to now compete, and so I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
While Prue will no longer wear the orange jersey as a player, this will not be the last time that we see her at this venue.
Yeah, I'll for sure come back and see the girls play, for sure, especially in the next 4 years since I know all the players on the team. But yeah, I mean, coaching could definitely be an option maybe in the future after my career.
An entire college career for Prue and her fellow graduates, but the work ethic never changed, often getting here to the practice fields you see behind me as the sun rose in the morning.
It was always so worth it. I would say just coming to this field, the sun is rising and we're all getting ready to do what we love, and so I guess this is what I'm going to miss most.
The Montreal native is currently preparing for what lies ahead. The pros and more time spent as a part of the Canadian national team. But for now, a scene of memories and love depicts her lasting legacy between the posts at the SU Soccer Stadium. For CitrusTV, I'm Jesse Cook.
Thanks, Jesse. Great work as always. When we come back, Nick and I give out our performers of the week. Well, it's more like our hoopers of the week.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
Time to put this show in a bow and hand out early presents in light of the holiday season. Cameron Ezeir here with Nick Zelaya, giving out our Performers of the Week awards. And Nick, I have a pretty strong feeling to who's taking home the first one.
It's Tisha Hyman. We've talked so much about the numbers the Cuse women's team put up on Sunday, but if we're talking individual numbers, Tisha Hyman was 2 rebounds away from a quadruple double. Her efforts in the 51-point victory were simply ridiculous, finishing the afternoon with 27 points, 15 assists, 11 steals, 8 rebounds. No player has ever recorded more than 8 steals in a single game prior to Sunday, but Hyman took a giant handful out of the cookie jar, Cam.
She did, but there was another one on that women's basketball team that did extremely well. How about Kristlyn Carr? She's been the motor for this team, and you talk about Tisha Hyman being good. Well, Kristlyn Carr was great. 4 straight performances with over 20 points, and her efficiency is off the chain.
And the final one, Gerard. We've got too many hoopers on this list. I'm not tired about talking about basketball. Gerard had an excellent week, 19 points per game in 2 games this past week against very quality teams in Indiana and Florida State. Gerard shot 47% from deep during that span and had a pair of steals in each contest. The junior point guard now has 5 games with at least 15 points. And you see him pull up from the logo, Cam? Joe's got that range.
He has that range, and what we have is the power to hand out these awards. What we also have is a chance to say goodbye here on the bench as that wraps things up. For our entire crew, he's Nick Zelaya. I'm Cameron Ezeir. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy the images of the week.
Shot clock at 7. Tisha Hyman knocks down a 3. And who else but Tisha Hyman? Tisha Hyman is single-handedly taking over this game. Tisha Hyman is having herself.
She is having a night.
Hyman into the paint. Got the foul, got the bucket.
Takes it out. Hyman for 3. Yes! A Tisha trifecta.
Tisha Hyman.